We're going to start with the nation. Federal government charges Emefiele with lying to obtain $6.2 million. Abiodun, Sule, Aburevi, and Idris don't know their fate today. Ibadan explosion, 2 more bodies recovered. South-South governors unite for region's growth. And Obaseki is braced chair. Refund 75 billion naira COVID-19 cash. House panel tells ministry. APC rules out automatic tickets for Ayedatiwa. Eagles shock elephants, and Adeleke deposes Ikirun, Ire, and Agbajo monarchs. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Okay, can I give the update on the explosions that happened in Ibadan? So unfortunately and sadly, 2 more bodies have been recovered. So that brings the number to 5. And the spokesperson for the state even says that, they're still going through the rubble, so they're not sure there may be more bodies that they would recover. She tried to describe, the state in which they were found. One, the full body was found, and another was just a part of the body. And so now, cannot be, they can't tell, of course, immediately from what they've picked up who it belongs to. And also the House of Reps has indicated that it will launch a full-scale probe into the explosions commiserated with the people of the state. And then we also have miners that have condemned the indiscriminate storage of explosives. So the Miners Association says that, legal, well-established mining companies have proper storage facilities for whatever it is that they use. So obviously these must really be illegal miners who are doing things under the radar. And so then we also have, different people, senators, condoling with the victims and sending their messages as well. So it looks like it's an ongoing recovery of these bodies. So really sad.
Right.
Yeah, so the House of Representatives Committee on Public Accounts yesterday asked the Federal Ministry of Industries, Trade and Investment to refund the 75 billion allocated to it as COVID-19 intervention funds to the coffers of government. The committee also asked the Federal Ministry of Health to return to government coffers 10 billion meant for vaccine production, which was not utilized for that purpose. So the committee, gave the directive to the 2 ministries as they resumed the investigation hearing on the expenditure of the COVID-19 intervention fund by the MDAs. And they were upset that the Ministry of Industries refused to honor their invitation. They've been inviting them on 3 occasions, but they didn't come and they didn't show up, and they had no excuse for not coming. So they're asking the ministry now to refund the money appropriated to it during the COVID-19 pandemic. And since the money was not in use, they can refund it. And afterwards, if they need money for anything, they can now, write for another fund to be given to them. Then they went ahead to say that, the 75 billion as COVID-19 intervention fund, that they had sent the ministry, invitation to the ministries, 3 times. None of the invitations were honored. That's one of the reasons they are insisting now that this money has to be refunded. And also, they are investigating public accounts, the MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies, and everyone who has, spent money or kept money that they have not used need to take it back to the federal government. They can now apply for funds if they need it going forward. So let's just see how this pans out.
Okay, so the APC yesterday ruled out... Oh, you have a story. The APC yesterday ruled out the automatic ticket for Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa ahead of the November 16, 2024 governorship poll in Oyo State. The spokesperson, Felix Moka, was speaking, said they described the ruling party as a democratic platform, adding that any aspirant issued for the governorship elections should follow the process. According to him, apart from the governor, no fewer than 8 other aspirants are warming up. And when I saw the list of the 8, I now knew why some people were following President up and down to various places across the world. So it says that there's Princess Oladuni Odu, there is Finance Commissioner Wale Akintarewa, and there is Senator Jimo Ibrahim. Ife, Oyedele, and Isaac Kekemeke. So we've seen a few of them traveling around with the president, so we can see where they're going from. It is not clear whether the chapter will zone the ticket to based on the region, but they say they're going to open it to direct and indirect primary. Either way, there's the people within the party members within the state that will decide who the next candidate nomination will be from the party. Go ahead, the major headline.
The federal government has accused, and they've amended the charge that they used to take Emefiele to court, and added criminal breach of trust, forgery, conspiracy to obtain by false pretense, and obtaining money by false pretense, where they said he lied to obtain $6.2 million. They accused him of conspiring with Odo Eric Ocheme, who is now at large, to obtain that money in the name of the secretary to the government of the federation. And he awarded a multi-million naira contract to a company in which his wife, Omoile Margaret, and the brother-in-law, Omoile Makombo, are directors and major shareholders. And he is also accused of forging a document that he titled Pre-Presidential Directive on Foreign Election Observer Missions, dated January 26, 2023, and they added the reference number, and he claimed the document emanated from the office of the secretary to the government of the federation. These charges are huge. What I would hate is after all this excitement that they uncovered this, to see the prosecution fail. If they fail, what I will do, let me call the SAN prosecuting on behalf of the government, Rotimi Oyedepo SAN. This charge better be done.
And stick.
$6.2 million plus 5.2 something, 500 and something. I don't want to hear huge amounts of money, and possibly, money laundered, siphoned, and then we'll just go and sit down later and say something happened. Because now the court awarded Emefiele, granted him bail. They also granted him leave to travel outside Abuja. Yeah. You know that he has rights. Yeah. He can also counter sue. So we better have a neat, tight case before we are jumping. That's all. Okay,
The Punch. Public outrage grows as kidnapping epidemic worsens. Police to pay 50 million naira for arresting Abiola's widow in a nightgown. Picture story here. Inspector General presents 2 billion naira worth of money to families of deceased cops in Abuja. Ibadan explosion, death rise to 5, soldiers occupy site. Supreme Court Abiodun Adebu to learn fate today. FG plans over $3 trillion for energy transition. And reps order ministries to return the $85 billion naira COVID-19 funds. Let's take one story before we go on a break.
Can I quickly take the IGP story? So the IGP presented a check totaling 2.08 billion to families of police officers who have died in active service in the last 5 years. And the total beneficiaries are 785 widows and family members who came to collect what is titled the Group Life Assurance and IGP Family Welfare Scheme Package. And he says that, I like the fact that he emphasized that money cannot bring back the dead, but he's hoping that, this will assist them. He said, we appreciate the stewardship of President Bola Tinubu for his administration's commitment towards the well-being of police officers, and we urge the beneficiaries to make judicious use of the money.
Okay, let's go on a short break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.